The CFL and XFL about to announce entering formal talks to explore opportunities. Yes, this is big news.
How about that?
Hey, CFL, don't get on your knees for these guys. You still have the 100-plus year brand. Like I would say, hey, Rock, maybe you should change your name. We'll change ours to the Continental Football League, but you need to change yours to the Continental Football League, and it's still the CFL.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Good morning, Canada. Canadian sports fans around the world, welcome. I was just tweeting the links, so don't mind me. Welcome to a brand new week. How you doing, Moose Dupont?
I'm doing well.
Did you have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend. You?
Felt to me, amazing, but it felt to me like you might have unplugged for the weekend.
I did.
I could tell.
It was great.
Ignoring my texts. I thought you were mad at me.
Never.
That's okay.
I laughed, and I couldn't believe it. I sent the laughing, crying emoji to one of your texts. I didn't send it.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, I didn't send it, but...
Don't you hate when that happens?
I was thinking about that over the weekend, and then, lo and behold, I mixed in a couple of runs, so it was good.
Good for you. And a salad?
And a salad.
Okay, good. I got back on the old IMAX Bowflex Max today, so that felt good, too.
Good.
Got my Gus Farrat bunny hug on, and we're ready to roll. Coming up on the program today, just tons of fun. Eddie Steele's going to join us. I can't wait to see what Eddie Steele, the Grey Cup champion, former Ticat, Rough Rider, and Eskimo, has to say about this CFL, XFL stuff. I can't wait to see what Eddie Steele has to say. Former Manitoba Bison now makes his home in the City of Champions. Also coming up, the voice of the Winnipeg Ice, Mitch Peacock, and he is the former voice of the Manitoba Moose and Prince Albert Raiders. And Corey Karlick's going to join us from Skycron, and I'm excited to make his acquaintance. You know more about him than me. You've met him. You've talked to him.
Oh, yeah.
What's he coming on to talk about? Because I don't even know.
Well, it's funny. We're going to talk about a few things. He's a local production company doing really big things all across North America, what we've talked about, and got a new program coming to Game Plus. So we're going to do a little tease on that.
Oh, sweet.
We'll see what other cool stuff he's got going on. I don't know if we can, tease some bigger things that we're going to do in collaboration with him. I don't know. I'll let him deal with that. But
when he comes on?
When he comes on.
Okay.
But it'll be fun.
I say good morning to everybody, and I have to say the guys from the XFL Mark podcast, the XFL's number one podcast, they become like my besties. You understand that?
I do.
You see what's going on here? Pardon me, Clark? Mark Cast, well, their Twitter is at Mark, XFL Marks, Mark Cast, XFL Mark Podcast, whatever. It's the same thing. So, yeah, it is. Reed Johnson will be with us later on this week from that podcast, and I'm looking forward to that. And let's go with the Quick Six show topics, please, Director Jordan. I know you've been sitting there with your finger on the trigger. And welcome, everybody, with your comments this morning. I can't get to them right now because this is the warm-up where it's me talking, viewer takeovers later, but don't let that stop you from saying good morning to all your friends in the comments section, right?
Yeah.
We do have breaking news today, by the way, and it's from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's not good news. It's not surprising news either. Before I get to the show topics, here's the breaking news for you CFL fans, you people. The Winnipeg Football Club released its 2020 annual report on Monday, announcing an overall loss of $7 million. The unprecedented, here's a quote from President Wade Miller, the unprecedented and rapid spread of COVID-19 and the related restrictions that were implemented in Canada throughout 2020 had a devastating impact on live sporting events across the country, which ultimately led to the cancellation of the 2020 CFL season. This had a detrimental impact on the club, not only with the cancellation of the 2020 season, but the shutdown of all events at IG Field. There's more, but I'll direct you to rodpedersen.com. It's the top item right there for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and their wonderful PR guy, Darren Cameron. That's all you need to know. Cam Poitras from CJLB, Manitoba's information superstation, texted me this morning and said, what do you think about this? I said, I thought it would be more. I thought it would be more. It's not good at all, obviously, but I thought it would be more than $7 million. So anyways, to the show topics. Number one, The Rock's tweet. And by the way, these show topics are of importance to me because it is the Rod Pedersen Show. Here's what's on my mind. Number one, The Rock's tweet Saturday night. We had a lot of fun talking about this in the morning meeting. You were giggling like a schoolgirl. Because The Rock was responding to Jim Mullen, a close personal friend of ours, the guy that sent us this Football Canada helmet. The Rock's writing Jim Mullen. Tell him what you said about Jim Mullen sipping his coffee.
I know. Like, I can just imagine there on Bowen Island sipping his coffee, and all of a sudden he gets a tweet from The Rock, and it goes down the wrong pipe. And, exactly. One of those, right? And then it's like looking around. Anybody else see this?
We all saw it.
Is this a birder?
Yeah. So, anyways, he says, The Rock says, we'll figure out a smart season that'll create phenomenal opportunities for players and be the best experience for fans. I played ball for years and wrestled 280-plus nights a year for years, so I know the value in smart scheduling and recovery. That's from The Rock. What the hell is he talking about there? I have no clue, right? And I think it's awesome that him and Randy Ambrosie just have everybody spinning like tops at a time where neither of their leagues are playing. We would normally be in the thick of the XFL season right now if it wasn't for COVID. So I don't know how this is going to land up. How I would like to see it is the merger. I've said it. Both leagues come together and they play in the spring and summer. Championship season is in September when the NFL is just getting going. And that's the way I would like to go. I'd like to see the ratio held on to for the 9 Canadian teams, but the American teams don't have to play with a ratio. It's actually pretty easy to me. But if it was that easy, they would be doing it. Point 2, unbelievable. The Toronto Business Journal writes 2 columns, and they tagged this show and me personally, their articles. One is how to save the CFL. It's a no-brainer, they say. And 2, that all the talk of the XFL-CFL merger is fake news being spun by Canadian media, which got Nailers from TSN. Naylor got upset about that. And he's like, what's he talking about? Fake news. This is a joke. It's a garbage article. I'm like, Dave, I didn't say I agreed with it, okay? I just retweeted it because they tagged us. I think the Toronto Business Journal thinks we're a Toronto show, which a lot of people... They're
not alone.
No, which a lot of people think. But anyways, Darren didn't read those articles because he's busy doing business things. Isn't that ironic?
I know.
But anyways, I'll paraphrase for you. Whoever wrote the article, because the writer's name isn't attached, said, they could just use Canadian university players as scabs while they figure this all out and they could play for free. That's the no-brainer. That's paraphrasing it. It was longer, probably about 800 words or so, but that's what. Let's just use scabs because these Canadian players will play for nothing until they figure it all out. It's not a no-brainer to me.
They're not wrong.
What? You think they should?
No, they're not wrong in that they'd easily be able to fill the rosters and there'd be tons of Canadian football players who would play, but it's not a good idea necessarily to save the league. You got to have talented players in the field. There are plenty of really great, talented Canadian football players. They're in the league, and there are some real talented ones that aren't.
Yep.
But we have university sports, and it's very entertaining, but that can't replace the Canadian Football League.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
By the way, that really got them going in the comment section here. From Ryan McCarthy watching in Albany, New York, says, wait, you're not a Toronto show? Chris Bird in Toronto says, there are shows not from Toronto? From Jordan Ewart watching on YouTube, what's Toronto? That really got him going, didn't it? So anyways, it's just fun stuff. It's fake news. That's what it is. But fake news can be fun. NHL Leftovers from Sunday. I said to my wife, Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, aren't playing, and there are no Scotia North games, so I'm going to unplug. She couldn't believe it. So I didn't sit in front of the TV and watch tons of NHL hockey yesterday. But here are my prayers up for Aaron Ekblad. He was injured in Dallas, the Florida Panthers defenseman. Some are saying it looks really ugly. I didn't think it looked that ugly, but I'm not Aaron Ekblad. Yeah, I'm saying I've seen worse.
Yeah.
But I think it's not obviously good, so say a prayer for Aaron Ekblad. There's no doubt that he needs it to get back onto the ice. Would you take Patrik Laine? Please take Patrik Laine. He scored 1 goal in 16 games.
I know.
What's going on there?
I know. It's Columbus.
No, would you take him on the Leafs?
No.
No. Why would you?
I wouldn't. But I would. Other markets, potentially. Again, here's a guy who clearly isn't just going to be able to turn it on anywhere. So you have to find the right fit for a Patrik Laine. We know he's got skills. We know he can score goals. He's got a great shot. But we got guys who can shoot the puck in Toronto. So I'm not looking at him there. But there is a place somewhere. He can go back and be a 40-goal scorer. But you have to find the right fit for him. I don't know what that is.
Stop the presses! Davis Sanchez is watching right now. The TSN analyst, the former San Diego Charger and Alouettes mouthpiece. Right, Sanch? He says, I don't think there's currently anywhere that I can be sitting in my desk here at noon on a Monday having a coffee and have a show on live television with, where to go? With a large portion of content talking CFL. Tip of the cap, Rod and Clark, and to all the viewers supporting the league just proves there are passionate CFL fans out there. Let's get him on, Clark. I want to know what Davis Sanchez has to say about the XFL-CFL merger. Oh, and by the way, just to finish that up, Ovi's on a 9-game heater. 10 goals in 9 games, at least a goal in each one of those. Who saw that coming? How about that?
Yeah.
Lloydminster's Ty Smith leads all rookie defensemen in the National Hockey League with 19 assists. And the Flower can tie Eddie Belfour tonight with his 484th career win. So let's see if Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, can get a win tonight. Now I got to go back and talk CFL because Davis Sanchez is watching. See how that works?
Yeah.
I guess I'll throw out the poll question while we're here for a Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center with dealerships all across the prairies, plus in Southern and Northern California. Who comes out on top of the CFL XFL deal? Your options are Randy Ambrosie or The Rock. I voted for The Rock. But interestingly, both are Calgary Stampeders alumni. What are they saying on Facebook, Dupes?
87%.
They say he's going to hoodwink Randy Ambrosie. The D lineman's going to get the better in this one-on-one of the O lineman. That's what they're saying. What are you saying?
Do I have?
Yes, you do.
The Rock. Although I feel like Randy's going to protect the Canadian game. The Rock will win, but Randy's going to do his job to protect the Canadian game.
I'd take that.
Okay.
I'd take that. I got a lot of things to get to here in the warm-up, and we're running out of time. Eddie Steele coming up, though, and that's just going to be a treat. I love me some Eddie Steele. Fourth point, NFL is going to 17 games. Were they not going to last year, but COVID screwed it up?
I think so.
That was the plan, right?
Yeah, it was heavily discussed anyways.
So if Twitter wasn't so darn much fun, I would delete it. And I'll tell you why. When it came out yesterday that the NFL is officially going to 17 games, and they've been 16 since 1978, I saw some guy tweet, oh, that's it for spring football. Oh, that's it. The NFL's expanding. You donkey. Nothing's going to change. They're going to take one less preseason game and turn it into a regular season game, and it's all about revenue.
That's it.
But as I've said, you don't need to pass an IQ test to do what?
Have a Twitter account,
or
make a baby.
Or have a baby. So the NFL is going to 17 games. Ta-da. Dub Hub. Exciting play, don't you know what's going on in our backyard? Every game's a 5-minute road trip from my house. Thank you, God, for the Dub Hub being right here in the sweatpants capital. And the Warriors lost yesterday. I did my commentary on it on Cat Country today on what's going on in the Dub Hub. So listen to that. But I'm just saying, it was Winnipeg beating Moose Jaw yesterday. And do you people understand the significance of Winnipeg facing Moose Jaw? The Winnipeg Warriors moved to Moose Jaw in 1984. And the Cranbrook Kootenay Ice moved to Winnipeg 2 summers ago. And they used to be in Edmonton. As the older I get, I realize I'm the only one that cares about that stuff. And the older I get, I realize I don't care that I'm the only one that cares about that stuff. I love it. I love it. Do you care as much about the history of franchises and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. I like following a little bit of that. And it's sometimes you forget about it, right? And you don't think about it that when they're playing each other. But it's cool to bring it up.
I think about it all the time. And I love it. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
And really, that's all that my goal is. Blue Jays open on Thursday. Just going to point that out. The Blue Jays open on Thursday at the Yankees. We'll be dropping some change on that with our official betting partner, Come On Official. And Eddie Steele's coming up. I wanted to get to, those are our 6 points. Our rock star of the day Friday was NFL Network analyst and NFL alum Brian Baldinger. How sweet was Baldy?
Yeah, it was great.
He was great. He was the rock star of the day. Viewer mail. I can't get to all of it, but here's one. It wrote in at rodpedersen.com. Rod, you have got a great show. I'm an American football fan who in the past 2 weeks has started watching your show. I have received quite an education about the CFL market and how Canadians feel about their football. First off, it looks like it has to happen for the CFL to survive. I understand the feelings of hardcore fans losing the traditions of 3 downs. I would feel the same way, but like you've been saying, if it's between going to 4-down football or no football in Canada, it feels like a no-brainer. I live in Los Angeles. I went 22 years without a football team. To me, my love for the Rams died when they moved to St. Louis. I became a Charger fan. Now, ironically, I cheer for both. But in my heart, I'm a diehard Rams fan. And he goes on to say here, I bring this up because if I had a choice of no football or bring back the Rams with 3 downs, it would be a no-brainer. Perhaps a lot of old-time Canadian football fans do not understand how dire things are for the CFL. It looks like a merger is happening. Thank you for your broadcast and your concerns for the league. You have a new fan in the lower 50. Sincerely, Mike Alley, Los Angeles. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
And here's one. Rename the merged league. This is a viewer mail. The Continental Football League. That way you can still call it the CFL, a Canadian conference, a United States conference. Adopt the U.S. size field with 11 players. The rest is Canadian rules. From viewer Lee Bishop, Greenfield, Indiana. I love your show. I'm a fan of both the Stamps and the Riders.
What?
How could you do that? That's like being a fan of the Flames and the Oilers. You can't.
You can't.
It's like being a fan of the Rangers and the Islanders.
But okay.
But okay, whatever. We'll take it. Yeah, exactly. Eddie Steele next to talk about all these things. This has been the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the NHL, UFC, and Regina Pats hockey on their big screens. Pats and Broncos tonight at 8 p.m. We'll be calling it. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.